guys, so today's 7 on Sunday. We have another TikTok thing today and I do not mind them. I joined TikTok like about 4 years ago. Like, it has been a while. Like, I definitely did it before COVID and when everyone was like making a lot more content because of lockdowns and such. But BookTok emerged more recently, but still probably about 2 years ago. And I am in like the BookTok circles. Like, I post stuff, but like not a lot of bookish content. But I do see the way that some people like obviously use BookTok as more of a medium than BookTube or Bookstagram. And I definitely do see recommendations, but a lot of my videos are like cat videos, movies, TV show videos, a lot of random weird shit that just pops up and I'm like, why am I on this side of TikTok? But I get book videos, but like probably 30% of the time. So all of the books I'm going to mention I have seen on TikTok. So if they're not staples of BookTok, then that is my bad. I think with BookTok though is they're like, wow, I've never heard of this series, it's an undiscovered gem, and then they bring out this and I'm like, what are you not here doing BookTube? But this has been a very popular thing. Like, you know, so this is on my list, but I just find that I don't trust it. But these are 7 books I have seen that I would recommend, which is the point of the theme. I've gone on a very long tangent here, but the theme is popular BookTok books that you love / recommend. That is the theme, so let's get into it. So yes, according to Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I will always talk about this book. I read this book when it first came out. I've been one of the OG fans and I just love it so much that it's one of those series that I know so many people that don't read who have read this series. It's that series that no matter what level of reading you do, no matter who you are, you will pick up this series. Like, especially if like you've got friends that read books and you don't read books, this is always the one that people grab for and then they'll never read again, or they'll be big readers. But it's just so popular in that sense that like pretty much nearly everyone has read it, even though there are still lots of new fans. But also because this series, this book came out, it hasn't been freaking 10 years yet. If it has, I'm freaking old. So this book is 7 years old, so there is obviously people that were like freaking 10 when this came out who have been reading it, or even younger who have started to read it. So mainly I feel like it's all new fans that have gotten into this series. But every time I see it on TikTok, I appreciate it. I also appreciate people who are only reading this first one and they're like, ooh, Chamberlain! And I'm like, ooh, just wait. A newer one is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. To be honest, I think the first time I saw this book was on TikTok, and also I never actually wanted to read this in the first place. I don't know why. I kept seeing everyone talking about it and being really excited about it, but I don't know, there's just something about it that, like, I don't know if I just misread the synopsis because I didn't realize that it was fake dating. That's what pushed me over to be like, oh my god, I need to read this book, it sounds amazing. And I do really love it. Like, yes, I struggled with the first 200 pages, but then there was a point where there was the auction-y thing and I was like, and then I just appreciated it for the rest. It just makes me laugh so much that I never wanted to read this. But I also couldn't get a copy of it for like a while because it wasn't in Australian bookstores, but then it finally was in Australian bookstores and I already bought it online. This is definitely very high up there with adult contemporaries, and I do find that I get a lot of adult contemporary recommendations from TikTok rather than fantasy because I can't really buy more fantasy because I already own too many and I'm not reading anything. But anytime there's an adult contemporary recommended to me, I'm like, ooh, I need another book, don't I? On the same tangent, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I am going to talk about this book every freaking chance I have. Every topic it fits into. Even if it's best fantasy, I'll be like, well, science, bro. I will make it work. But I just love this book profusely, and to be honest, I don't think I wanted to read this one at first either because I thought it was just about science and I thought that'd be really boring. And then I was like, fake dating? Oh, why don't I know about this? Actually, again, it was the Kylo Ray and Ren thing. It got me. But I'm so excited too because book 2 just came in the mail and I'll be able to read it soon. But I'm also reading other things, like I'm reading The Dead Romantics. I really want to finish The Northern Lights now because I want to watch the show, but I'm not letting myself get binge until I read the rest of the series. But I read so slow and season 3 comes out in November, so I'm struggling, but there's a lot of things I need to read. And I've only read 1 book for the Magical Readathon, so I am struggling AF. I did so shit. Like, I was like, oh, I won't be able to do 7, but I can't even freaking do 2. Like, I am the worst reader. What is the point of watching me when I don't read anymore? Like, it's concerning. Next, I want to talk about The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and yes, I found this before TikTok, and Daisy Jones and the Six would be the more popular, but I haven't read it, so I can't talk about how much I love it or how I would recommend it. But The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I do see it a lot, so I think it still counts. But it's such a beautiful book, and I always highly recommend this. Honestly, if I was going to recommend a reading order for Taylor Jenkins Reid, it would be read this first, then read her full backlist titles so that you get like used to how she writes in some of her older stories and how she's evolved. Then go from Daisy Jones and the Six, and then Malibu Rising, and then Carrie Soto is back. Like, she keeps releasing books and I haven't been keeping up with them at all. I thought I was doing good and I have not. Like, there is soon to be 3 that I have not read. Before it was 1, then it was 2, and it just continues on. But I would recommend that reading order to really get a good feel for her, because it's the way I read them. And I didn't read her backlist books in order. Just read, like, I actually read Maybe Another Life next, which you could do as well. It's all good that her books are like contemporaries and they're standalone, so it doesn't really matter what order you read things, except for Malibu Rising, which you definitely should read after this one. But it's a beautiful story. It's gonna make you cry. I did not cry, but I was very close to crying. Like, this is the book that I would say I came the closest to crying in, so that means something. Next, I want to talk about People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and this could be any of her books, okay, because Beach Read's very popular, Booklovers is very popular. She's got a 4th one coming out, so there's another novel that I'll be able to read. I am definitely going to try my damnedest to stay up to date with Emily Henry's books because I love her. She writes so well, and I definitely need to read her other book that I have here somewhere, The Love That Split the World Apart. I should have been like a young adult fan before I like finally got into her. It might have been like a vibe. And I'm sure the other 2 are more popular on TikTok, but I just love People We Meet on Vacation so much. Like, it has a very special place in my heart, and I love traveling, so this book was going to be like, we were going to be in kin, we were going to be like vibing, because yes, traveling is so good and I want to do more of it. And I just loved it that they were like best friends and they like had these little holidays all the time. It's just so cute, and the romance, it's so good. It is so good and I highly recommend. Next, I want to talk about Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. So this is definitely one that I read like before I was on TikTok, maybe. Or I was on TikTok, but I do think that people do vibe about this a lot, and since the movie has already been filmed, I'm so excited and I'm so glad that I have Amazon. But since that's happened and One Last Stop's been really popular, I Kissed Sarah Wheeler's been very popular, there is just a vibe for Casey McQuiston's books, so you just see them everywhere. Like, it is definitely highly recommended, and I'm always highly going to recommend it, and I don't know why. I've only read it 1 time. Same as with like The Love Hypothesis. I need to have read that more than once, and I have not. There's so many books that I would love to reread, but I haven't even read most of my books once. So it's a concern. But these boys have such a beautiful relationship, and it's one of a kind. Like, nothing has lived up to like the heartfelt feeling that I've felt for these boys. Like, it's unique to them and I love them. And lastly, we have to talk about Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, because again, this wasn't like made popular by TikTok, but with the show coming out, a lot more people were vibing with it, and then when the show came out, everyone's obsessed. Like, I see so many videos, and I've made videos about Heartstopper. I've seen people do things and I'm like, I'm gonna do them too. So I have. But I think it's just like a cultural reset, this series, because these boys are just so pure and innocent and adorable, and you don't really get to read romances like this anymore, where there's not big drama and there's not cheating and scandals and just bad shit and miscommunication. These boys communicate incredibly well, and even though they do have the why are we like this, that's innocent miscommunication, okay? That's allowed because they're still babies. They're still figuring out their lives. They are each other's favorite people. They love each other so deeply, and it just means a lot to me. Like, no, I'm not part of the LGBT community, so like there is that element that I really can't like relate to, but I just, like you want to love like this. You want to have that person who just cares about you so incredibly deeply, and it's so moving. I mean, you guys knew I was just gonna recommend contemporaries, and Akutara is like a freaking honorary contemporary because the romance is so good. At least gradually over the past 2 years, my adult contemporaries that I recommend, it's like getting a bigger selection, but I still always recommend and talk about the same like 6 books. I know you guys must be so sick of it, but it's just because I love them so much. This is why I need to read more so I can actually give you more content to talk about instead of the same form. But do you guys agree with me that you have seen these all over TikTok? Because I swear. Well, anyway guys, that is all for today's 7 on Sunday. I do hope you enjoyed. At least I was somewhat consistent this month because I did at least 3 videos. There was one that I got a message. But there was one that I didn't do because I was either just didn't have time for it, I didn't want to do the theme. But I'm excited to see what next month has, and hopefully I'll make more videos. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!